Alright guys, so I'm going to do a quick little video on solving quadratics by factoring. So we'll get started here. Just some reminders, we've been graphing parabolas, right, which is graphing quadratics, but our standard form of a quadratic equation looks like this. ax squared plus bx plus c. And we're going to start solving. So if you guys remember, there are a lot of ways to solve. So honestly, as long as you solve it, I'll be happy. But we're going to go over some nice methods for solving to help us out. So first one we're going to do is factoring. And I'm going to run through two examples for us. So we're going to start off with this guy. Okay, so factoring, remember this one doesn't look quite like our standard form, right? We're missing that b term. So we could write it out if we want, 3x squared plus 0b's minus 24 equals 0. And remember, the quadratic formula is an option if you're ever stuck. But for now, we're going to factor out anything we can or try to get two factors. So for this problem, I can factor out, it looks like just a 3. And if I could factor correctly, hopefully you guys are yelling at me, there should be an 8. All right, after we factor as much as we can, we need to make sure 0 is on the other side. And we split our factors and say each factor is equal to 0. Well, this guy is out. That doesn't make sense. But I didn't finish factoring this one as much as I could. So we could do it into two factors, or once I'm here, I can move that 8 to the other side. So I get x squared equals 8. And to finish this up, now I can take the square root of both sides to get rid of that squared. Remember, when we take a square root, we need a positive or negative because we don't know if x is positive or negative. So my final answer to this would be plus or minus root 8, which we can simplify a little bit. You do that by factoring what's inside, and then I could take the square root of 4. So x equals square root of 4 is 2 root 2. All right, so our first example. Now let's go through kind of a more normal looking quadratic equation. So let's start off with this guy. All right, so we want to get it in standard form, which means moving everything onto the same side. So I'm going to move that 4x over and the 5. So minus 4x plus 5 on the other side. Okay, so I'm left with 5x squared minus 20x plus 20 equals 0. Okay, factoring, first things first, if there's any common factors, so common values, I'm going to pull that out. So I can take a 5 out of everything here. And now I can factor this guy. You can use the AC method. For this one, I just have to think about, since we don't have an A, two numbers that multiply to 4 and add to 4. Lucky for us, not many options here. So my two factors are x, and I really should have a negative 4 over here, right? So my factors make a little more sense. So we have x minus 2 equals 0. So now I set all my factors equal to 0. 5 equals 0 is out. We don't need that one. And these are both the same. X minus 2 equals 0, so I don't need to do it twice. So my final answer is x equals 2. So just remember, when we're solving quadratic equations, I'll do a quick one more thing, right? We are solving quadratics. to find where the equation equals 0. And we call these solutions. We call these x-intercepts. Or we call these zeros of our equation.